Hi everybody, I'm Harriet with Wartime Wisdom. I'm going to try something I've never tried today, which is making a homemade cold cream for skincare. It's the kind of thing that people would have used during the Second World War, and the formulas I think may have changed from what they had available back in that time. Although some of the same brands are still available, I think the ingredients might have changed. So I'd like to try making my own version with the ingredients that I want to have in my cold cream. And I've never tried this before, so today will be a definite experiment. I'm going to move the camera down here to the table so you can see what I'm doing, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so first let me show you what the ingredients are and what tools I have. The first ingredient is a 1/4 teaspoon of borax, and let me show you the box for it. This is a laundry booster, but it's good for a lot of other things, and you may have to search for this a bit. It's a little bit less available now because it has sort of fallen out of favor as a product that can be toxic. So you do have to be careful with it, but just the same as you would with, say, a toilet bowl cleaner or something like that. The next ingredient is a 1/4 cup of rose water. I'm using this from Mountain Rose Herbs, but you can use whatever rose water you prefer. And then a 1/2 cup of sweet almond oil or some other facial oil, and I'm going to be blending some sweet almond oil with just a little bit of raspberry seed oil. That's really good for mature skin, so you have to choose which oils are good for you. And then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of beeswax pellets. These are some I ordered on Amazon. And I like the little pellets. They seem to melt a little bit faster, but you can also buy beeswax in a block if you prefer to use that. And then one optional item is a little bit of essential oil, just a few drops of an essential oil. And I'm going to probably add a few drops of rose essential oil since I'm using rose water. But you could add pretty much any essential oil, and you don't have to put any. So the equipment I'm using is this induction cooktop here, and you don't have to use that. You could just do this on the stove. I have a pot that I'm going to use I'm going to use this for both parts of my mixture. This is going to be an emulsion. So I'm going to do the water part in here first and then move it to this bowl. And then I'm going to do the oil part in the same pot after I dry it out. And then at the end, what I'll do is combine both with an immersion blender. So you will need an immersion blender probably to make this the easiest that you can. So you're also going to need a 1/4 teaspoon measuring spoon, and a couple of measuring cups. I have my 1/4 cup and my 1/2 cup, and a spoon and a spatula here, which I haven't done this before, so I've got what I think I'm going to need. And then of course you need a container to put it all in, some container that is has a good snug lid to it. So let's go ahead and see how this works. So I have got the borax here, and I'm just going to measure out 1/4 teaspoon. I am checking metric conversions as I go. I just did that for these first 2 ingredients, and the borax did not even register on my scale, so it's less than 1 gram. And then 1/4 cup of the rose water is 60 milliliters. So what I'm going to do is turn this on. And put the rose water in. This is a 1/2 teaspoon measure, so I'm eyeballing it for a 1/4 teaspoon of the borax. And I'm just going to use this little spatula. So what I'm going to do for the first step, my instructions say to dissolve the borax in the rose water and then heat it almost to boiling. And then I'm going to set that aside while I do the oil part. So the emulsion is going to be a water part and an oil part mixed together, blended together to emulsify them. And this is working very quickly. Okay, it's already almost to boiling, so let me turn it off. And now I'm going to pour that in this bowl and set it aside. Okay, and then bear with me, I'm going to go wash my little pot here and come right back to do the oil part. Okay, so I got everything set up now for the oil part, and what I did was get 2 tablespoons of beeswax pellets measured out, and if you're using metric, that is going to be 16 grams. And for the oil, as I mentioned before, I'm using a mix of sweet almond oil and a little bit of raspberry seed oil. So what I did was put 2 tablespoons of raspberry seed oil in my measuring cup and then top it off with the sweet almond oil. You could use any number of different oils, just any kind of facial oil should be fine, whatever's good for your skin and your skin type. So if you're using metric again, this is going to come out to be 100 milliliters. So what I'm going to do now is the oil portion, I'm going to turn this on again and put the oil in this pot with the beeswax pellets, and then just stir it gently until the beeswax pellets are completely melted. Then I'm going to carefully pour the water mixture, which was my rose water and borax, into the oil mixture while I am using the immersion blender. And I'm hoping this is going to turn into cold cream. Now beeswax pellets take a few minutes on the stove. I don't know how they're going to do on this induction burner, but they can take several minutes. You don't want to scorch your oil and do it too high heat, so I would say maybe medium heat at most, and just give the beeswax a few minutes to melt. And then when the oil and the beeswax just become a clear or clearish liquid, as you can see this has a little bit of color to it, but when it's totally clear and you can't see the beeswax pellets anymore, then you're ready to go to the next step. I've never made an emulsion before. I've done a lot of oils that are just oils with essential oil added in, but not mixed with a water component, which the rose water will be. So I hope this works. I think it's very simple, just very specific steps. Okay, on this induction burner, that happened super fast at medium heat. You can see when I say clear, I don't mean no color. It just depends on your oil, but I just mean that it's totally liquefied and there are no beeswax pellets left. Okay, so give me just a moment to get rid of my induction burner and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, here I am at the moment of truth. I'm trying to move kind of quickly because I found this recipe in the comments section of some video I watched a long time ago, and I just jotted down the notes on it. So I don't know where, you know, which person it came from. And I've never made an emulsions, but I suspect that the water part and the oil part both need to be at least warm, similar temperatures. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and get this done, and let's hope I don't hit you or me with this hot stuff. So here's the oil mixture. Now my instructions say pour the water slowly into the oil, blending continuously with the immersion blender until the mixture turns glossy white and thickens. And then that's it. Then you just pour it. You can add essential oil if you want. And I'm going to probably add just a few drops here at the end. And let's see if this works. I've got my immersion blender on the lower of its 2 speeds. I think I'm going to turn it up to a higher speed. All the water, put in just a couple drops of oil, maybe 3 or 4 drops. Put 4. You can see it so far. Okay, I want to stop and check this for a minute. Mine is obviously not going to turn glossy white because my oil was such a golden color. But let's see if it got thicker. I think it did, and it is getting a little bit glossier. Yes, so it is thick enough to stay and coat the spatula. So I'm going to give it just another minute here. You can see it's sticking, it's getting a nice texture, and I think when it cools down, it's probably going to be about the right texture. So I'll give it just another minute here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it in my jar. Okay. That really did thicken up a little bit. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm wearing just a few drops. So probably good to do it in a pot that has deep enough sides that you'll be able to use the immersion blender without really wearing it. So get this pot out of the way. This texture is so creamy and wonderful. This is great. So I'm gonna let it have a chance to cool, and then I'll try it out and I'll come back and let you know how it is. Okay, so that worked great. It only took a few minutes to make. It was very easy, very simple, and I just let it cool down in the fridge while we had dinner, and you can see the final product. It's set up great, very creamy. I like it a lot. Hope you enjoy if you try it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.